Oh, my bad. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dre Truth, and man, oh man, you know, thought why not? Let's just watch something a little different. So we got a little memoir from a hitman. So I don't know what's about to be said. This is my first time watching it with y'all, so let's get to it.
All right, to 4-5. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Well, I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. My father was from North Carolina. My mom was from Georgia, and I was raised in Lauderdale.
I mean, Fort Lauderdale, you don't think of as being a typically problematic hood.
No, 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 no. But in the '60s and '70s, if you were from the city, it was real rough. It was rough from the city. You had a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Haitians in that area.
I guess there's always certain neighborhoods there.
Yes, yes. Like Tatertown, Parkway, Regal Trace, different areas.
Tell me about your parents.
Well, my mom was an alcoholic. She was an alcoholic, and she never stayed home much. But my father was an old gangster out of Chicago, and he was a war veteran too. Came from the military. He loved his guns. He ran number houses, and that's why I learned my upbringing from him.
How would you see what he did?
Well, I used to watch him all the time. I used to go with him a lot to gambling house. I used to rack balls when I was 7, 8 years old in the pool room, stick-out pool room. I used to rack balls. And my dad was a pool shooter. He loved to shoot pool. He was 6'6". He was real tall. So he loved to shoot pool. So he'd always sneak in his car, follow him everywhere he went.
Yeah, but shooting pool and murdering people is a different story.
It was a different story, but it was in the same group.
Yeah, same kind of
You know,
people.
cause my father also was a pimp. So being a pimp and a gambler, a person that shot pool, and a person that sold drugs, so it was violence in that. It was violence in that. So my father went to prison when I was young for murder.
How old were you?
I was about 6 years old. My father went to prison.
Damn, he looked like he about to cry.
I was 6.
That one hurt him.
And how would you describe your childhood in general?
Well, my childhood really came from when I was born till I was 8 years old. I stayed with my parents in Fort Lauderdale. But when I was 8 years old, an accident happened that sent me to an orphan home in New York. And I was put in an orphan home. Matter of fact, what happened was my grandfather used to always come to the side of the house and scare everybody. And I took the 12-gauge shotgun and I blowed his head off. I was 8 years old.
Damn.
And I was sent to
Damn. Imagine your grandpa going on the side of the house to just play and scare you. And you knock his head off with a shotgun. Hey,
New York. And that's where I met Mike Tyson at, was in the same orphan home. But he wasn't known as I'm Mike Tyson then. He was just, everybody used to pick on him because he talked it funny. We used to call him names. And he was fight everybody. And later on in life, he became famous as I am Mike Tyson.
So you murdered your grandfather.
I murdered my grandfather.
That was not your intention.
No, by accident. By accident. And I was sent away in
murdered your
the orphan home
8 years old.
at 8 years old. And when I was in the orphan home, I used to be abused by older people there. There's an older lady named Miss Maddie.
Oh,
She used to beat everybody, beat us and lock us in the closet and stuff like that. Yeah. We pee the bed. She make you stay in your pee, stuff like that. So my upbringing was tough.
Did you have other lines of work that you wanted to go into?
Oh yes, I wanted to always own my own company. I wanted to own my own plumbing company, own roofing company,
he looks like he could be a plumber.
and stuff like that to help out.
Who are you closer to, your mom or dad?
Well, I was closer to my father because he'd take me in the woods and shoot guns. I was young. He's
You were shooting guns at what age?
age 5 and 6. I can load in the gun. I can clean in the gun. He used to beat me and teach me that. I could break a 45 down, put it back together in the dog. And I was just 5 years old.
And then you graduate high school?
Nope.
How far did you go?
I went to fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
Damn.
Fifth grade, the farthest education I ever had.
Brother. Odds are stacked
You-
against you.
Ended up doing what?
Well, when I went to New York, I was off and home there for 2 years till I was 10 years old. Then I came back to Florida. I stayed in Jacksonville with my sister. And she was married to a dude named Dungans. He was the leader of the Jamaican posse. And they had a big drug ring. And I stayed up under him until I was 16. He would take me everywhere with him. And they had a big killing spree. They just go around just killing people. He was the head of the Jamaican posse, shower posse, that they called it.
Real life shot that boy.
And did that kind of
Bottom on.
lead you into a path where you're doing more of this kind of stuff?
Yeah, they led me in the wrong path. It led me to think that it was okay when it wasn't okay. It led me to misunderstand people in society. I was taught the wrong way. So I thought it was cool to kill people.
How many people you murdered, do you think?
Well, all together they said were 39.
How was he
And
out?
what kind of people are you murdering?
Well, drug dealers, confidential informers,
Confidential informants.
confidential informers.
So if somebody has the courts or the police, whatever, have somebody who is going to inform on somebody they're trying to put away
Yeah, somebody trying to testify against, they'll hire me to do the job, to stop them,
to
Damn.
get rid of them.
to get rid of them, yes.
That's got to piss the judge and the cops off.
Yeah, that pissed them off. That's why they hate me. They didn't like me.
And how do you do it?
Well, first thing I do is money got to be first. They got to pay up half price first. I find a location where they at. And then went to protection program. There's people you can always find out inside jobs. There are people working in the courthouse, get information for clerks of the courts, people that you grew up with, people that's in your neighborhood, crooked polices, get in contact with, who I grew up with in middle school, stuff like that, out of my neighborhood. I get information from them kind of people. And they'll point me in the right direction.
How old are you now?
Well, I'm 52 years old.
52. And you spent most of your life either in
I spent 29 years in prison. I went when I was 16. I was 47 when I got out. I was the youngest man in the state of Florida to go to Florida death row.
So you've been convicted of some of these murders?
I've been convicted of 6 murders.
6.
Damn.
They sent me to Florida death row. 15 years on death row, 29 years in Florida prison. The Florida Supreme Court overturned my convictions.
And what kind of emotions do you go through now with these kind of this kind of history of yours?
Well, I changed my life. I gave my life to God, and I used to have nightmares and stuff like that, and I became a changed man.
So it did haunt you.
It haunted me every day of my life.
Yeah, I can't imagine you can just do that kind of stuff and move on with your life like nothing happened.
It's hard to. When you're uneducated and when you come from a dysfunctional family, and when you was raised wrong, you were taught wrong, when you thought that you were taught right, so you did wrong things. But as you grew in life and you better yourself and educated yourself, you began to do what is right. And that what happened with me.
And you've been out for how long now?
I've been out now altogether 2 years.
2 years. And you're trying to take a different direction with your life?
Yes, sir. I'm a manager at U-Haul. Very productive.
Very productive.
With your criminal record, it's got to be hard to get.
It was hard to get. But when you change your life, people really understand you. They really understand you when you're serious and make a change. But the federal government keep following me anywhere I go. They got with ankle monitor on, stuff like that. I still have one case left that they trying to investigate and stuff like that.
And your father is around still, or is he gone?
And my father passed.
Did you ever talk to him after you became you followed in his footsteps?
Well, my father always been my idol, my mentor all my life. And he would taught me wrong because his dad was a pimp. So his dad taught him wrong. And the pain that he had inside of him, he could only pass that down to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to break that
Broken
cycle
people
to
teach
pass,
broken people things.
not pass that pain down to my kids.
What do you think the problem is with these kind of communities?
Well,
Why does this happen?
well, the problem is that when you come from a dysfunctional background, dysfunctional thinking, in Vietnam, see, my father them came from Vietnam, and they was given heroin, they was given drugs, they were given addiction in the war. So when they left from the war, and the government didn't support them, they went on their own to create their own things. And there were a lot of them was doing. They were dealing with drugs. They were dealing with pimping. They were dealing with the street life. And that's all he knew because he came from a dysfunctional family. So the only thing my father was able to teach me is dysfunctional things, backwards things. But I have to break that cycle and not teach that to my kid.
How did you go about breaking that cycle?
But first thing I did, I knew I had to change my life. I found a good woman, and the communication was great. And I knew as I got older and got mature that what my father was teaching me and what I had learned. And plus, I did 15 years on death row, so I used to read constantly.
You had a lot of time to think.
I had a lot of time to think about my life and what life itself was.
How do you meet a good woman, given your background and your
Well,
last 20 years of your life?
believe it or not, I met at Snappers, and it totally changed my life. It totally changed my life.
She's a very special woman to
Yeah, she gave me something to live for.
hang in there with you.
Yeah. And I tell people about my testimony. My testimony from death row to the front. I'm also a pastor at a church, and God is amazing what He does. He's amazing when you truly want to change yourself. When you want to change, change comes. You do the right things. People, places, and things. You changes. And I feed the homeless. I give back to the community. A lot of people, family, fathers that I killed, I communicate with their kids.
Really?
Yeah, I communicate with 3 of them, and I give back to them.
Did you ever escape with drugs or alcohol or anything like that?
Well, I never was addicted to drugs, alcohol, nothing like that. But my mom and my father was,
Yeah.
and I was around it for years. But I became a drug dealer. I sold plenty of drugs all around the world.
And so you go by the name 4-5.
That's what that name came from. Duckus in Jamaica 51, they was the leader of the shower posse. And at a very young age, from 10, 11, I could shoot so good with a 45. They said, you know what, that's your name. You shoot too good. We to go out in the field and shoot bottles and stuff. So they said, that's the only gun I ever committed a crime with. That's the only gun I ever killed people with.
How would you go about killing people?
Well, first of all, it got to be the right price. They pay the right ticket. Well, they got underground black markets numbers that you can call, and they'll tell you it's a ticket in your area. And they'll say, well, it's a ticket in Miami. And I said, well, I want 2 of them tickets. And they'll tell me the price of the tickets. And then I know the name of the individuals. And then I just act like a normal person in the neighborhood, and they don't know me. I get a girl from somewhere that they don't even know, and I set them up with a girl. And I had a girl that like she liked them, and she don't even know them. He don't know her. And when we get back to the motel, I follow him. I kill both of them. I kill the girl too. That was just part of life then.
And how do you do it?
Killed the girl too?
I was trained to just shoot him in the head. 3 shots in the head. So anybody I was ever accused of killing, that became my trademark. So as a state attorney seen anybody shot 3 times behind the ear with a 45, they was coming to get me. They didn't care. So I won 9 murder trials in Broward County alone. 3 in Jacksonville and 2 in New York.
So you've been convicted how many times?
I've been convicted 1 time that I was 16 that sent me to death row. But since I've been away from death row, soon I got out, I caught another murder case. I stayed in county jail 4 years fighting the Johnny Ross murder case. That's one of the biggest murder cases in the world. He was a big communist informer against Miami police, riverboat cops, the Miami Police Department. He was telling on crooked police.
So the crooked police were...
I was paid by a
Who hired you?
A police officer and a drug dealer hired me to kill Johnny Ross.
Really?
That was 2016. That was the last murder case.
You got a movie here.
Maybe.
Emotionally, how did this affect you?
Well, mostly at night, sometimes I can't sleep. I toss and turn a lot.
Still?
I hear the voices of the people, like especially the Johnny Ross case, because I knew him personally. He the only guy that I ever was accused of killing that I knew personally. I knew him personally. And
That's got to be hard.
and when I took the detective out of the car and got in the car, he said, "Man, please don't kill me." I said, "This is what I get paid for. You know that."
So he knows you're going to kill him.
And I shot him 3 times behind the ear. Yeah, he knew that. When I got in the car, he was going to the courthouse. They have having 1 block from Broward County Courthouse. 8 o'clock in the morning, coming from winter protection program.
What?
I stayed there 3 nights, step in the field, down the street for 3 nights, watching. And the only time I was able to get to him was when the detective was taking him. But the detective was a fat dude that was out of shape, and I draw the gun on him first. I took his gun, and I threw him out the car. I can talk about it now because I won a trial. Can't nobody retry me on it. The feds can't retry me on it.
How did you win so many of your cases?
Well, I look at it now and think that was my calling for God. And that's why I changed my life.
God and a good lawyer.
Yeah, I had a good lawyer, Christopher Clark. Out of Cincinnati. I flew him down here to Florida. Christopher Clark, he won altogether 12 murder cases for me.
He won 12 cases?
12 murder cases altogether.
How did he win 12 cases for you?
Well, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. See, a murder case is a harder case to convict because there can't be no speculation. You got to have solid facts.
No doubt.
I was never on camera. Can't be no doubts. I was never video. No eyewitness. All the eyewitnesses came up dead. So
After you would do the deed, whether you went into somebody's apartment, car, whatever, do you just walk away or do you run away? Or
I walk away normally. Get in the car and just go about my business.
So somebody walking their dog down the street wouldn't suspect you of doing anything?
Nah, just be casual. Just be casual, walk casual, act normal. And that was it.
You got a story or two? I'm sure you do.
Well,
Some of these murders?
yeah. Yeah.
His face.
Tell me one.
Well, I want people to be able to hear my story because to know how did I get to that point. Coming from dysfunctional family, dysfunctional background, being a Bruce as a child, and it taught me wrong. It caused me to do a lot of wrong things in life. And a lot of parents need to understand that their granddaddy and their fathers got their hurt and their pain in them. They pass it down to their kids. And that affected my life. I could have been an NFL player. I could have been a basketball player. I could have been anything other than being a hired hitman. You know, there's a lot of talent that been wasted in situations like that.
But of some of the murders that you've committed, tell me a story or two of how it went down.
Oh, Johnny Bean. There's a dude named Johnny Bean in Jacksonville. He stayed on the top floor of Hilltop projects, and everybody was scared of him. He used to beat everybody with a bat. He was originally from Miami, but he was getting money in Jacksonville, and everybody was scared of Johnny Bean. And I told this girl, I said, you know what, I'm gonna kill Johnny Bean.
What was Johnny Bean into?
Johnny Bean was into drugs. He was a big drug dealer. He was selling drugs a lot. He was into beating women. I watched my father beat my mom, and I hated guys that beat women. And he beat this girl up that I was messing with. And I told that girl, I said, you know what, tomorrow when I come over there, I'm gonna blow Johnny Bean's head off. And she thought I was lying. She said, you so small. I used to be real small. You so small, he's so big. I said, I promise you that. And I had to go to the 9th floor. And I walked by at least 30 guys that had guns. And I walked up there and blowed his brains out. And threw him off the 9th floor over the rail. And walked back down by his homeboys them. And got in the car with my friend and left. And everybody just looking around like, wow. Because they were scared of him. But I never had fear. My father used to beat me with extension cords and I wouldn't cry. And I wouldn't cry.
You never had fear?
I never had fear in my life. Never. I never had fear. I was born with a hole in my heart And the doctor told my mom that I wouldn't live long. And I always been a child that never cried. I get whoopings, I never cry, never cry. Dudes jump on me sometimes, I get in fights, I never cry. I never shed a tear.
Do you find you're developing those abilities now that your life is taking a new direction?
Oh yes, I never would believe I'd be a manager. And you all, they gave me another great opportunity today.
All right, I'm sorry. I just gotta, just give me a second. Yeah. No, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's a manager at U-Haul. It's just funny. Like, yeah, I just never thought I'd be a manager at U-Haul. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger.
To be a supervisor. I'm a motivated speaker. I go back to jails. I go to prison to talk to guys and stuff. I'm a deacon and a pastor in a church. And my life just been wonderful now. It's been wonderful.
That's great. And do you do like public speaking or anything like that?
Yes, I do public speaking. I speak all the time. I feed the homeless. I give back to the community.
Hell yeah.
3 guys who I mentored to was accused of killing their fathers. And they call me and text me all the time. And there's no bad blood no more. That's how life was, how the game was. When you choose to be into that drug game.
What do you think the answer is for healing? Like
what the answer for healing is breaking the cycle. Us as men have to break that cycle of being that pain and that anger inside of us so we don't pass it on to our children. And we got to replace that with love. Okay. And love comes from God.
Do you have kids?
I don't have no kids. I have stepkids.
Yeah, I was about to say, because when he got out, he was in his 40s.
After you murder somebody, do you just go out and have a beer, or do you like... What?
Normal life. It's normal for me to do. I was trained to do it.
You don't do anything different?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's
just a job.
It's just a job. Just a day at work. Just a day at work. The state attorney said when 39 people that I was involved in killings. I don't know how many, truth be told, cause in Chicago, New York, in Washington, Seattle, during that time. If you Google it, the shower posse, they was convicted of 182 murders. And I know I was at least part of 60 of it, but they were charged with them crimes, so nobody else cannot be charged with them. But being around dysfunctional people, is part of your environment. My mom was an alcoholic. My father was a drug dealer, a pimp, and a gangster, so I was taught wrong. I didn't ask for that. It was given to me. But the moment that I realized that it wasn't the right thing to do, I changed my life.
Do you remember a point in sounds like your early youth, where you realized your life was taking this crooked path?
Yeah, I was on Florida death row in 1985. And they were about to execute Theodore Bundy, Ted Bundy. And he was in the cell next to me. And I asked Bundy, I said, Bundy, you finna get executed tomorrow. And I said, how do you feel? He said, every day. He said, it's an everyday thing. I said, but he told me, he said, I want you to do.
He said what?
He told me, he says everyday thing.
Everyday thing. No,
everyday thing.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big. He killed 30 people and them killing him. He said, no big deal. But he told me, he said, you gonna get off death row. He said, but I want you to change your life. He said, you're an instant guy.
But I think you were probably different than Ted Bundy.
I was way different.
He might have had a mental illness.
He had a mental illness, a sickness, cause he was fascinated off women that he would choke and kill. I never had a murder case with a woman or a child. Every murder case I ever had was with drug dealers, confidential informant, guys that was in that life.
Yeah, and your violence stems from growing up
from a dysfunctional family.
In the hood, in a rough family.
Yeah.
Business.
It was wrong.
It wasn't like you were a crazy person.
No, I wasn't a crazy person. I wasn't been a problem. I just taught that. If I was taught the right way, I'd have went to college and did the right things. But I was taught wrong.
If you'd grown up on the other side of Fort Lauderdale, you probably would have been.
Yeah, if I grew up in that county, it'd have been different for me in that area. See, 'cause Fifth Avenue was a dangerous area in Fort Lauderdale. And not only me, but every young child come from that area either had life in prison, either went to death row, or was murdered at a young age. Guys that grew up with me were none of them successful in that area. I can't name one person in that whole entire area that was successful.
Really?
Really, none of all of them were dead before they were 15, 16, or in prison with life.
And that just reinforces all the racism and the...
That's cause that area, a lot of blacks from that area, fathers was in Vietnam. So they were drug users and stuff. And that type of immigration of area, a lot of people came from Georgia, Carolina, New York, and that part of Fort Lauderdale on Fifth Avenue. It was a most dangerous area in Broward County.
You think there's any hope for the young people of today that are kind of following a similar path?
Well,
you see it in big cities. You know, I'm based in LA, and I see it all the time there.
Yes, everywhere now. They don't have that father figure, and they've been taught the same way I was taught from dysfunctional background. That cycle must be broke, and part of it is the government. The government is part, believe it or not, they are part of people being dysfunctional because there's no programs for them. There's no places for them. The YMCA being closed down. There's no place you can go at right now if you ain't in school or working that you can do something positive. There's nowhere to go, and that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, in your case, you kind of probably needed a series of things to be different. Your mom, probably a mom that wasn't on drugs.
Yeah, I need a mom that wasn't on drugs.
A dad that maybe sold insurance instead of a pimp and a murderer.
Yeah, it's been a big difference.
And maybe a neighborhood that wasn't just
that wasn't because all the kids was crazy. There was a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Haitians in my neighborhood during that time. And they were very violent because they had just come from Jamaica. And then, you know, Cubans, they had just let them out of prison straight over here. So I hung with guys, when I was 8 years old, I hung with guys that were 15. So when I turned 15, I hung with guys that were 30. So
and that's not good.
That wasn't good. I was taught wrong. I had the wrong role models around me, dysfunctional people. But today, I go to the detention center, I go to county jail, and I speak to kids because I don't want them to experience what I experienced.
What helps you stay on track now, other than your great wife?
What helps me stay on track now is the desire to want to help people. I have that desire. I have done so much wrong in my life that I have that desire to want to help somebody, because if I had help, if I had a voice, if I had someone to sit me down and teach me what was wrong and right, if I had a father figure from a functional family, I wouldn't took the turns that I took. I wouldn't. My father, when I was 4 and 5, he would teach me how to shoot guns. If he never taught me how to shoot guns at a young age like that, quite damaged me. And every time my granddaddy come to that one in the scales, I would have never shot him because I wouldn't have had experience of guns.
Yeah.
But by him teaching me that at a young age,
experience with guns,
it was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong.
I don't know about that part.
Because it wasn't DCF then, it was HRS. It was HRS back then.
I'm sorry?
It was HRS back then. If a child committed a crime like that, it wasn't DCF. It was HRS. They come and take you away from your family.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and then they send you way to New York, place I never been before, to an orphan home that was a bruiser. That made me worse.
I mean, I'm not saying any of this was really your fault. You listen to your story and you can kind of see where the train went off the tracks.
Yes,
but what would you have done differently if you had your life to live all over again?
If I had my life to live all over again, and I had the right parents, the right parents and stuff, it'd been way much different, a lot different.
You would have picked different parents.
I'd have picked different parents. Yeah, I picked a mom that wasn't a drug addict, but a father that wasn't a gangster. But that's the cause that life gave me. And I had to deal with it. And the moment that I got mature to understand that it was wrong, I no longer do wrong things. I do positive things in my life now.
There's a book that my mom was interviewed in, and they asked her, what advice would they give? Kind of like the question I ask at the end of my videos. And she said, pick your parents well.
Well, that's That sound good, but you got no choice
You
of
have
who
no
your
choice.
parents is.
Right. No,
You have no
she got
choice,
lucky.
man.
She
You have
got
no.
lucky
But
on
the
that.
moment you do have a choice, that would have changed your start at. That would have changed my start at.
And 45, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
The most important lesson I learned in my life is to never take another man's life, no matter what the number or the money was, no matter what the situation was. A man should never ever take another man's life because it affected me dearly today. I can't even sleep, toss and turn, sleep wild, and I hear every voice from everybody that they said I murdered, and that's not good.
All their kids, all their wives, all their
Yeah,
families.
because you affect their family. You take a father away from his wife. You take a father away from his son. You take a father away from his daughter. It affects his family.
All right. 4-5. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Mark.
I wish you the best of luck now that you're out.
Thank you.
Hope you write a book or do a movie or something like that.
I appreciate
It's a
it.
hell of a story.
Woo! My gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. Like, he's still on some kind of ankle monitoring, and he's like, yeah, well, I beat these cases, so I could talk about him. I can't get retried for him. And he's like, yeah, when I murdered this fool, like, damn, bro, shoot, that's crazy. But I definitely do see the key points where, how your support system can definitely like bleed into you. So I definitely see, but that was crazy. Shout out to being a manager at U-Haul. Nah, that was crazy though. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good one. That was a good one. If you guys are enjoying content like this, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys come across any videos or anything, make sure, tap your boy in. Also show love, support, all that fun stuff. It really helps out a lot.